Today we are going to talk about everything macro counting. So we're going to start with what macro counting even is, and then how to determine what your macros should be, and then from there go over exactly how to proceed once you know what your macros are. Macro counting is a way to break down your nutrition intake, not just to calories, but into macronutrients, which are carbs, fat, and protein. So those three macronutrients are what makes up most of our foods. The fourth macronutrient is alcohol, but generally speaking, we are not tracking those. Carbs have 4 calories per gram, protein has 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories per gram. Alcohol is its own macro and is 7 calories per gram. When we have goals like gaining muscle or losing fat, we need to set our nutrition goals to be aligned with our physique goals. So the first thing you want to do is you calculate your macronutrients based on what your goal is. There's 2 ways to do that. You can do it through a macro calculator or through a coach. I am a nutrition and fitness coach, and I do macro calculations for my clients. Macro coaching is just $35 a month, or you can just try to do it on your own. So if you are doing it on your own, just pick a calculator. There are a ton of them out there, so if you Google macro calculator and you get really overwhelmed, just pick one. I'll explain why, but the number that comes out at first doesn't matter too much. So when you go to the macro calculator website, it will ask you to put in your age, weight, usually activity level, and your gender. Sometimes it will ask you about your body fat depending on the equation they're using. There's the Mifflin-St. Jeor and there's the Harris-Benedict, and sometimes they'll use another equation. They will also ask you what your goal is, whether it's fat loss, maintaining your weight, or gaining muscle. So choose the appropriate goal, and then it will give you calories and macros. So you're going to download MyFitnessPal or another macro tracking app. MyFitnessPal looks like this. But there are other apps out there. I've used MyFitnessPal for about 7 years. 9 years, something like that. So I'm just used to that app, but I know there's a lot more out there these days. Then once you have your macros, you want to start planning your foods, but before we get into that, I want to go over adjusting your macros. So why I said it doesn't really matter what number you get at first, it's just because you're getting a baseline. That number that comes out is probably not going to be exactly right for you. Maybe 1% of the time it is, but what you're going to do is follow those numbers for 2 weeks, and then from there, see what happens. Do you maintain weight? Do you gain weight? Do you lose weight? If you maintain weight, that is your maintenance calories. We usually have a big range of calories that we can maintain weight at. So you might notice that you still lower them and you're still not losing weight. So just know that maintenance calories can be a wide range, and we have to kind of cut things down to lose weight. If you started losing weight and that's your goal, then that's great. Just keep those numbers. If you're losing weight too fast, then just push them up a little bit. If you're trying to gain weight, then you would just increase the calories. And likewise, if you start gaining weight, then you would lower them down if you're trying to lose or maintain weight, and just adjust as you go. So my whole point is the number that you get at first probably needs some adjusting, but you have to let your body adjust to those numbers and see how you react. So don't just after 2 days change your macros right away because you didn't see the results you want. It takes time, it takes patience, but you will find the right numbers for you if you just stick with it. This is where having a coach can come in handy, because they are experts at doing these numbers, and they can tell you, like, yes, this is normal, don't change things. I think when things are in our own hands, we tend to like go a little crazy and want to change them right away because we feel like it's not in our control. Okay, so once you have your calories, you're going to start planning your meals. So what I tell my clients to do, and what I do personally, is plan the day ahead. So I've been counting macros for like 9 years, like I said, so I'm pretty used to it. I usually do plan ahead, but if I don't, I know macros well enough that I can track as I go. But the reason I don't like to tell people to do that is if you just track as you go, you get to the end of the day and your last meal, you have some weird macros left, like 2 grams of fat, 3 carbs, and 60 protein, or like some weird mixture of numbers that it's going to be really hard. You'll just be eating egg whites for dinner or plain chicken or something like that. So just plan ahead. So the best way to do this is go into MyFitnessPal and start logging your food for the next day. So you'll just go into the app for tomorrow and start logging your meals. So you go in for tomorrow, and I suggest just starting with the big meals. So you'll start with lunch or dinner and plug those in, and then do breakfast. If breakfast is usually a big meal for you, then start with breakfast. So I'll use my meals as an example. I'm not going to show you on MyFitnessPal because I don't want you to copy exactly what I do, because my macros are different than your macros. So I would start with lunch. I'm going to have shrimp fajitas tomorrow from Icon Meals. I order my lunches and dinners from Icon Meals. They're a meal prep delivery service, so I just do that. If you're interested in using those, you can use the link below to shop their website, and they're doing free shipping right now, so that is awesome. So I would put in my shrimp fajitas for lunch, and then I would put in dinner, which I use custom meals from them. I do salmon, asparagus, broccoli, and sweet potatoes or red potatoes. I have the potatoes on the side in bulk so I can just measure out how much I need. So I'll put those into the app, and then I'll go in and do my pre-workout meal. I work out first thing in the morning, so my pre-workout and my breakfast are the same thing. If you work out mid-morning or later in the day, you would just adjust that. Your breakfast and your pre-workout would be separate meals. My pre-workout meal is cream of rice. So I do cream of rice, blueberries, egg whites, a little bit of protein powder, and 20 grams of nut butter. I found that 20 grams is the amount that works for me as far as fat and everything goes. I'll put on the screen, like, I did take a video of me measuring this stuff the other day just so you can see like how I make that. I adjust the amount of blueberries, the amount of egg whites, the amount of cream of rice depending on my goals for that day. But that is my pre-workout meal, so I get most of my carbs in that meal. We can talk about meal timing in a different video. This is just about how to plan your macros. So I have my 3 meals in right there, my breakfast / pre-workout, my lunch, and my dinner. Then my post-workout, right now it's usually protein pancakes and egg whites, so I'll put that in next. And then from there I just have 1 or 2 snacks that I'll fit in. So a snack isn't just like whatever sounds good, it's what do I need to meet the rest of my goals for the day. Do I need more fiber? Fiber is a side one. It's not one of the main macros, but I do have a fiber goal of 25 to 35 grams per day. That is the goal. Women, you want a minimum of 25 grams per day. So I use my snacks to get to my goals. So if I need more fats, then I'll do avocados or eggs, like hard-boiled eggs, or nuts. If I need more carbs, I'll do fruit, or I'll just add more rice or sweet potatoes to my other meal. If I need protein, I'll do egg whites, I'll do a protein shake, I'll do some lean fish. I don't eat meat, so I'll do like tuna, shrimp, something like that, but usually I'll put those into my lunch or dinner. Another thing is adding like a protein bar. Usually those have fats, carbs, and protein in them, so you want to find a bar that you find works for your macros. Some of them are higher in fat, some of them are higher in carbs, some of them are more carb bars than protein bars, like they'll have 7 or 10 grams of protein, but I prefer the ones to like 15 to 20 grams at least. That way you're actually getting your protein in. So that is another snack that you can use. But basically that's it. You put in your main meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you use the snacks to fill in the rest of the day.